metallic glaze onto one piece, and I prefer it if it was not a wide piece, sort of fairly narrow, because that's what we really want for the fuming. It can be it could be a reasonable height, not huge, but really is the narrow sort of piece you've got. It doesn't have to be burnished, because this is having a glaze put on it, so that's not important for this purpose at all. What you'll be doing is putting a metallic glaze onto it, and there's some on the table, about 3 or 4 coats, and the sort of effects that you'll get, something after we have fumed it, you can see the sort of rainbow colours going on the piece. So pass that round and have a look. And there's different ones here with different glazes on, which you can see there. So those rainbow effects. So yeah, it is a bit blingy, and you love it or hate it. I can't say I'm a great fan of it, but it's an interesting technical process, because so we're putting the metallic glazes on. That will be fired in an electric kiln, whatever it is, 1050, I think, something like that. And then I think it's on the Monday, on the last day, we'll fume it with Stannous chloride to give us these sort of lustrous effects. Now, traditionally, and you'll see various lustres in the handbook there. It was used a lot in the glass industry, Stannous chloride, and it's hardly used at all these days, because it is of health and safety concerns about how it's being used. So it's like a lot of these chlorides. Once it starts getting heated up, it will give off acid gas fumes. But what it does is to deposit a very, very thin layer of tin oxide over the work, and then you'll get these refractory effects when light hits it, which gives you these, they call Newton's rings effect. That same sort of thing you get with oil on water when you get the different sort of refraction effects going on. So yes, you'll love it or hate it, and you'll see different sort of effects from some of the different glazes. I think there's one on here which is not so blingy as the others. Yeah, there's one here which you can see the different sort of, that's quite a shiny glaze, and there's different ones out on there. This is not quite so shiny, and then there's the pewter one, which you've used quite a lot of, which can be quite matte.
I didn't get any rainbow effects, it was all matte.
Quite subtle, isn't it? And let's sort of look, we've got various ones here. Yes, that's the sort of effect that we've had really, but with rainbow effects on it. And you've not had those, but a sort of more matte effect on it, which perhaps is a bit more.
Is that the pewter?
That's one of the pewters.
Yeah, I'll check, because I don't like them.
But there's various glazes here on the table.
Which one is it?
And you can have a look at the test tiles to see what there is.
Is there any reason that we use a dark colour of metallic glaze?
Metallic glaze, because it gives you a real shiny effect. But you will find this on, you can use almost anything underneath, and you can try that. And to some extent, you can often see on the back of the test tiles, even, well, none of these actually, but sometimes on the back you even get the ring comes through on the clay surface, but it hasn't done it on any of those. Sometimes you will see that. So it's really just to give you an idea of this sort of process. It's not used a lot by ceramicists. Don't know, any of you know Maggie Gardner's works, Salt Fire, over in Norfolk somewhere now, and she puts it into the salt firing towards the end as it cools down, and you'll see when we do it on Monday, we'll heat the work up to about 800, let it start cooling, and as it gets to about 550, that's when I'll introduce the Stannous chloride. And I do that underneath a metal bucket, and that contains the fumes, a bit like the Saga, and we gradually let oxygen in to reoxidise what's going on the surface there. So what we're doing is manipulating the surface to give us these sort of effects. And Maggie does it really well, and she creates quite subtle effects on the soft glaze, so it's about manipulating the amount that goes in and the time it goes in to actually give you something which is rather more pleasing rather than on the metal sort of in your face effect. So this is really just to give an idea of how it can be done. If you look on the internet, some of the work the Americans do, they call it KOSAI, K-O-S-A-I, hue of light, I gather that means. And they use essentially metallic type glazes, but they do manipulate them quite a lot. Silver nitrate, obviously a metal glaze, but that can give quite a pleasant sort of glaze effect. Bismuth subnitrate they will use as well in there, and they will often have several different firings to give quite spectacular sort of effects, which we obviously haven't got time for in this workshop, but it's to give you an idea of how you can use these sort of chemicals. Quite unusual, I don't think you'll find many people, as I say, in this country doing it, but you can use these sort of chemicals if it appeals you to create that sort of effect. So the idea is you choose one piece each, and perhaps I'll have a look at what you're choosing, but as narrow as possible so that we can get them inside the thing now. And choose which glaze you want. You can come and have a look and have a chat with me about what the different effects are. I've put some yoghurt containers out on each one there. The one with the greenish band on is called Fool's Gold, and that is I just all sorts yesterday. So that's this one here. The one with the greenish band on it is this particular one here. Okay.
John, could you, obviously we're going to buy them to temperature and then the next day it's going to go up to 100. Could you do it, if you were doing a batch of them, where it starts to cool from its glaze
Absolutely,
firing?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you would do it in the Raku and take it up to It's just because we saw in terms of the firing, we haven't got enough time to do that. Okay, this one is